Look, if I had to guess, you're posting content, doing open houses, and sending the mailers, but you still feel invisible in your market. I'm 20 years old, I've never sold a house, and honestly, probably wouldn't be a great realtor, but I have built a proven marketing system that uses Facebook ads, virtual assistants, and CRM automations to turn cold strangers into consultations completely hands-off. And the best part is that we've already rolled this out for 50 plus agents across the nation who are now booking 8 to 12 qualified inbound phone calls every single month without a single cold call, begging their friends and family members for referrals or burning out.
Alrighty, so in this video, I'm going to run you over exactly how to just implement this yourself. But if I'm being honest, my selfish intention is that you just think this is way too much work and want me or someone from my team to basically just implement this for you. If that's the case, there will be a special link down in the description. But if not, let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so although I'm going to run you into the exact three-step funnel that we're currently using for all of our partnering agents across the US to help them stand out in their market, we need to run over the problem in which, why you're not standing out in your current market with the current strategy that you're most likely using. So let's go ahead and run over what that looks like. So you're most likely, in your market, and most agents, they get their business from referral, sphere of influence, or a repeat business. And so if, we'll just go ahead and kind of like visualize this here. We'll say, I'm going to make these little stick figures here. We'll say these people are like your sphere, for example. Let's just go ahead and like copy a bunch of these. These are like the people that you know. Obviously, the more you network, the better. But for the most part, this is going to be very small compared to the actual percentage of the market that's transacting, right? So let's just say, let's go ahead and make this you in red. Okay, so this is you, the realtor. And then all of these people are basically the people like in your sphere and stuff, and your repeat and stuff like that. These are the people that, speak to each other, and they're like, Mason here, he's a realtor, he can help you out. Your repeat clients, he helped me out in the past, things like that. But at the end of the day, what we kind of have to realize is that these aren't necessarily like, this is probably a very, very small percentage of the market that's actually transacting. So a lot of the times we hear agents saying like, oh, my market's slow. Sure, your market might be slow, but if all of your business comes from referral, SOI repeats, just imagine like the fraction of the market that you even have. So you're basing like, you saying the market is slow or the market's not moving right now based off of this like fraction of the market that you actually know, because most of your business is repeat and referral. So basically, just to kind of visualize that there, these are like, the people that you actually know. And then like, let's just do this, for example, here. So it's like not the best at drawing, but it's like, this is you and you're in like your sphere, your repeats, your SOI and stuff. And then like, this is the actual market that's transacting. And it's like, basically, we need to figure out a way to pull some of these people over here and turn them into people that could be potential repeat clients, potential sphere of influence, people that you can make friends with, right? So it's like, you're kind of like, and most of your business comes from sphere, repeats, referral, probably the best type of business you can get. It's going to be highest profit margin, easiest to work with, things like that. But when things get tough and your market starts to slow down, which we understand is going to happen, markets are going to do what they're going to do. You only have access to these people when there's this huge pool of people out here which are actually transacting. I'm sure when you look on your MLS, like you'll see, like even though your market's slow, there's still hundreds of homes being sold on a monthly basis, right? And it's like, what are the odds that that's going to be someone in your sphere or in your database, like that's doing that, right? So basically, you need a system that's going to allow you to tap in and access these people here. And so that's basically essentially what we've created. And you've probably gotten hit, by ads working from companies and people that you've never seen, but there's constantly 24/7 on social media, right? You might be getting hit with like products or a supplement, right? Of these brands and these companies and these people that you've never seen or heard of before. And that's super powerful to be able to tap into an audience, to be able to tap into a market which doesn't even know you, and turn a completely cold stranger that doesn't even know your name, know what you look like, know what you sound like, know anything about you, like you, or trust you, and turn them into a client that you could potentially help. Okay. So basically, that's really the fundamentals of essentially what I'm going to run you over how to do in this video. And I just wanted to kind of correct us on why this is so powerful on the strategy kind of before we dive in. So if we're in a slow market or you've ever blamed your difference being slow because of the market, this is going to be a huge solution for you. So let's go ahead and dive into how you can actually solve this. Okay, so the first thing to notice, so the first thing to note is going to be that you don't have to be everywhere. Okay, you don't have to be famous in your market. You just have to be the first person to provide someone true value. So this is like a big misconception that I see a lot of the time that agents think they have to be like famous in their market. And although that obviously would be amazing, there's some agents that would like to be top producers without having to get 100,000 Instagram followers, right? And so essentially how you can do this is instead of having the attention, um, let's just say, for example, maybe all these people like Orange or something, instead of having, orange attention of this entire market, you could have, hyper focused attention of, a few people. We'll make these like red, right? So like, let's say instead of having to actually have a system or a strategy that gets all of these people interested here, and then there's no way to actually provide serious value to these people. We want to basically have a system that's like not necessarily about being famous, but just getting a few select people out of, let's say you generate 100 leads per month. Realistically, all you need that to turn into is anywhere from 12 to 15 quality conversations, and all you need that to turn into is 3 to 5 transactions. Almost there are members out here, for example. But how you actually do that is with those phone calls that you beat on, you actually provide true value. So a lot of the partners that we actually partner with initially, we'll listen back to their live transfer calls, we'll help them first coach them and we'll train them on, just helping them. A lot of these agents have never converted coach advocate here. But a lot of them will be like, oh, I'm going to set you up on a home search, right? And it's like they could go on Zillow and do that for free. So you want to not just, be famous in your market and know a lot of people and have 1,000 people on an email drip, but you want to have, select people that you're actually able to get in touch with and provide true value to. That's always going to be hitting a large group. Like there's times for that. There's marketing campaigns for that to hit like a ton of people and provide, a smaller amount of value, indoctrinate them. But that's not what's actually going to get the conversion. That might build trust that they might like you because you've given them some free, buyer's guide or seller's guide or homes listings along those lines. The thing that's actually going to move the needle forward and or decide if someone actually works with you, wants to meet you in office, wants to sell to your Zoom consultation, it's going to be like a big, bold offer that you actually have and you give them. So we have a lot of our agents, do stuff like sell your home in 60 days or offer on your home in 30 days or pay you 1,000, 1,500, 3,000, up to even $3,000. These are going to be things like name your commission program, the new NAR settlements, which is like, we'll fight to have the seller pay your commission if they don't. You name our commission, and then there's like a contingency where it's always like 1 or 2% or something. But that's going to be like the actual true value that you think of a contact if that's going to lead to the conversion, opposed to just having this surface level value that doesn't actually help anyone. So that's also something too huge that you need to keep in mind is it's not just about being the most famous and providing everyone some little thing, but out of those little people, the ones that you actually think are serious, providing them like a lot of value. Because at the end of the day, a cold lead that doesn't know, like, care, or trust about you, you have to put yourself in the consumer's shoes, right? Because they're not going with you because they like you and because their friend referred them, you have to think in their shoes, they're just looking at all these agents in their market and going, who has the best offer for what's in it for me? Because what if someone comes into your market and they don't know an agent? Think about like their thought process, right? It's not who has the best track record right away. It's what's in it for me, what's going to give me the most value. And that's going to what determines if someone actually wants to have a longer call with you. Then after that, after they initially get in the door, then share your reviews, your track record, your personality. Are you able to connect with them? They need to be able to trust you for this huge, life-changing transaction that we're going to do. But to start, it really just matters about getting them in the door. You can do all of that later. So I just want to preface that as well. Before we kind of dive into the entire system in general. Alrighty, so let's actually dive into the wax system, the 3-step funnel that we're currently implementing for all of our partnering agents across the US to actually help them stand out in their market without having to get famous, without having to touch hundreds of thousands of people, but actually just having, a select few people that they speak to that come inbound and then providing real value to actually get them to convert. So the funnel consists of 3 steps: lead generation, qualify and handoff, and then essentially just a bulletproof backend. A lot of you guys probably have CRMs in place. A lot of the agents that I actually am talking on calls with and running over their systems usually aren't using their CRMs to their full or honestly even like 10% of their potential. And so we'll run over that. So worst case scenario, hopefully this free video is just able to give you a ton of value. So step 1, lead generation. It doesn't really matter where you generate your leads. This honestly does not matter at all. The only thing that matters is that it's super, super consistent, it's predictable, and you can turn it up and down. That's the main thing. We do all of our lead generation for all of our partnering agents on Instagram and Facebook, for example, or Meta. Any platform works, TikTok, Google, LinkedIn, Pinterest, they all have advertisers on them for a reason. We've just mastered Instagram and Facebook specifically. But Instagram and Facebook or all these social media platforms are really, really good for just getting you a consistent, predictable stream of leads for very, very cheap. And then also you can just turn it up or down whenever you want. So if you have a proven system that's converting leads at a 1%, let's say 2% conversion rate, which by the way, NAR is already pulling that with the data. Those are the conversion rates. So like we recommend all of our agents just go build this stuff out themselves. So just to kind of set some um, you know, target KPIs, do not even try to do like cold lead generation if you're not prepared to generate anywhere from like 100, 200, 300 leads per month, or it's not going to work, right? So that's just one thing. We have a lot of agents that come in, say they've tried meta ads before and they're generating like 25 or only 50 leads per month. Like that NAR statistic, you're not going to generate a closing for 2 to 4 months, right? And so we do all of our top of the funnel lead generation on Instagram and Facebook or Meta. And basically the reason we do so, as you can see here, is because look, we have $2 leads that we're essentially able to generate. And the social media platform gives us everything that we need to know to just do that again tomorrow, do that again next week, do that again next month, right? So it's consistent, which is a huge thing that lacks in the real estate industry, which again is mainly just because everyone's business comes from referral, repeat, SOI, which can be swayed by the market. And also you can never tell if someone's actually saying your name behind closed doors, right? They might seem like a friend, everything might be great, you might have a great relationship with them. But at the end of the day, when the doors close, like, are they actually saying your name? Like, is your name coming up when that, conversation pops up? So you never really know, and you can't rely on that, right? I would rather rely on, actual numbers and data. And so as you can see here, it's very predictable, very streamlined. A campaign that's crushing right now for all of our partnering agents is downsizers. Here's an example of a lead that we ad that we're running for Kyle here to actually generate those $2 leads. One level homes, low prices, peaceful living, ready to downsize and upgrade your life in the Las Vegas area. Very, very simple. Honestly, this is probably the easiest part of the entire process. You could go on YouTube right now, find the videos that run over how to generate leads in real estate. The hard part is actually once you get all these tons of leads, actually converting them, right? So out of these 86 leads that we generated here for Kyle, we were actually able to live transfer him 13. Now, if you don't know what a live transfer is, it's basically like calling through all those leads, like having a team, an ISA, or a virtual assistant call through all those leads, and then just find you the qualified ones and transfer them over to you live on the line via phone call. So basically what we recommend if you're dealing with any type of cold leads, honestly, if I was in your shoes, I would not recommend ever touching these. Like you have referrals, SOI, or repeat deals that are closer to the closing tables that actually need your attention and that's actually worth your time. These leads are not worth your time. The pickup rates are 5%. Again, like I said, NAR came out, the conversion rates 1 to 2%. It is best to hire a virtual assistant or have some sort of ISA or maybe someone below you that you can offer some training to in return for some calls to make these calls for you on your behalf. Or else you're just going to be burning a lot of time and you're not going to see success with this. You're going to actually probably get a lower ROI if you don't have an assistant or a caller in place to make these calls for you because you have to hit them within less than 5 minutes. Harvard came out with the study, speed to lead. If you can hit a lead in less than 5 minutes, you're 8 times more likely to actually convert them. And so if you can't do that because you're out in the field, you're taking appointments, consultations, stuff like that, then you need to just hire a virtual assistant or an ISA. You don't have the money for it, save the money up for it, or don't even really try to run social media ads. It's just not going to be worth it. So qualifying handoff, you basically hire a team of virtual assistants or ISAs to call all those leads on our partner's behalf, qualify them based off of basically just, all these metrics here. What type are they? Just a buyer, just a seller, or both? Motivation, location, price point, time frame, financials, important property features, agent status, extra notes, all that stuff, right? You don't want to be sending over anyone that has an unrealistic price point, ridiculously long time frame, or is currently in an agreement with an agent or out of our partner service location, right? So we qualify on all that stuff basically. And as we can see, Kyle here, obviously super happy, asked him how the transfer you're doing. They seem really good and he wants to upgrade to our paid plan. We have a few different options if you're, a real estate agent in the US. Doing more than about 12 transactions a year right now or one per month. We potentially would like to partner with you and see if we could honestly implement this for you. Again, first thing we recommend is just take this free content, take these free videos and try to implement it yourself. But if you think this is just too much work and you have the capital, you're looking to leverage your time and just have this done for you. Because again, honestly, like client acquisition as an agent, that should not be what you're doing with your free time. That should be something that you have outsourced and hired, and you have employees or team members on those. You need to spend your time talking. Yeah, basically, some videos from Kyle there, but it feels like that is something that you'd be interested in. So then if my team could come in and implement it for you, there'll be a link down in the description. You can check that out. But, Kyle's just one case, super, super recent. We like to keep our results recent just for credibility. We've been able to help out a ton of agents, so there. We've actually only partnered with probably about 60 agents. And so this is a super high success rate. So we're super proud of that. There's a lot of great results. We've been able to get a lot of great agents. And then basically step three, we've generated a crap ton of leads. We have callers in place and just call them and qualify them. So you're only spending your time with a fraction of them that are actually worth your time. For Kyle's example, on those 86 leads we generated, only 10 of them are 14 live transfers. And then out of those 13 live transfers, you're going to be able to find that 50%, but you're going to go do it for the next 6 months, right? So you're just having a huge funnel. Make sure you're not wasting your time on tire kickers. It's honestly as simple as that. And then step three is honestly just going to be a bulletproof backend CRM system that initially contacts, follows up, and nurtures every single one of you on like a 5-year time frame. Like I'm serious. Like your CRM, you need to be leveraging it to the max. If people are ghosting you, it is your fault. It is not the lead's fault. I don't know how many times like agents will come in to learn to have a conversation with a lead on the line and be like, they ghosted me. And then we'll be like, hey, look in their CRM and they're sending like a text a week. There needs to be 2 calls a day if someone has ghosted you. Now, I understand not annoying them. That's not what you're talking about. If you actually are a good agent and you want to help people, you shouldn't think you're annoying them. You should think that you're actually providing them a good service, because what's going to happen if they go with the agent down the block and they have a bad experience, you're going to wish you were able to help that client. It's not being annoying. They need your services. They could be busy. They could be at work, right? Unless they tell you to F off, like you're not being annoying. Like I don't know how many times I have to tell this to agents, like, hey, that's not the way I do business. Well, looks like you're just not going to succeed in business then. Like at the end of the day, the data is against you. And it's apparently you just don't want to help your real estate clients at the end of the day. All right. So follow up until they block you, tell you to F off. Like if you believe in your service and believe in the duty that you and the services you provide as an agent, you want to help as many people as possible. If you have to annoy people to be helpful in your community, so be it. At least it's strangers and not your family and your close friends in your circle, because you have a system that's generating you strangers, right? But having to just make friends with the new boyfriend in hopes that, when him and your niece get at home, they go with you. It's just being able to connect with them and not think that your family thinks that you have some selfish intention behind it, right? That's honestly one of the amazing things that we hear from our agents about, generating strangers, is that you can actually provide them a lot of value beyond them, opposed to if it was like your family members, because then you almost burn bridges, right? So have a crazy backend, not spam, but text. As long as you lead with their value first approach, no one is ever going to complain. It's the agents that just send over their business card and say, hey, my name's Mason. I'm a realtor. Let me know if you need anything. What value is there? That is zero value you just provided to that lead. They do not care about you. They don't like you. They don't trust you. Say, hey, here is a free buyer's guide on how to increase the price on our home. Just send that over. Don't say, well, if you need anything, because then they know you have your selfish intention behind it. Just say, here's a free guide on how to increase the value of your home. Hey, you filled out our ad about 2 months back. You're looking to sell your home. Here's a quick guide on how to increase the value of your home. Simple as that. Like, you don't need to always be like, call me if you need anything. You don't need to always be like, here's my number, here's my email. Like, they don't need to always be opting into something. Like, if you use the value first approach, they will come back to you because you've been the only one that's actually been able to help them. Okay. So a lot of the time when you get ghosted, it's because you think like you just send them a business card or saying, here's my number, call me if you have any real estate questions. No one cares about that. They want value. They want true value that can help them in their home buying or selling process. Now, I'm not an expert, so I can't give a ton of examples of actually, help buyers and sellers, but I am good at marketing. I understand that's what the consumer wants. They want to know what's in it for them, and they want value. In return, they will use your service. They will come to you, right? So I'm not going to go too in depth to this, but we use High Level for our CRM. It's an all-in-one platform. There'll be a link down in the description. If you use my affiliate link, you get a 30-day trial instead of a 14-day trial. It basically replaces all the need screwed softwares that you can see in the screenshot here. It's crazy. You also get all of our real estate snapshot templates, which is honestly like it's not priceless, and but it's up there. Like we've spent a lot of time reflecting these text, email, and call cadences, the pipelines, the automations, the data tracking, and everything on the back end. If you want that, we'll link down in that description. I go into a lot more depth on the actual text message and email cadences and templates that we actually use in other videos. I don't want to drag this video out much longer than it already is, so we won't order that in this video. But yeah, that's honestly just kind of freestyle of this video a little bit. But the main thing is if you want to stand out in your market, you don't have to get famous, right? Like just run and like, it is honestly this simple. And if you don't trust marketing, like the biggest thing we get is like people will hop on calls and not trust us. Like they'll be like, how do I know you've done it? Or I've been burned in the past. Well, then just do it yourself. Like it's not hard. Just do it yourself. You trust yourself, right? Like you're a real estate agent, you already took the leap before, not going down the traditional route of just working a 9 to 5. You obviously trust yourself. So why wouldn't you need to build the system yourself? I mean, if you don't trust yourself to build the system or you think it's going to take too much time, then at least reach out to our team so we can do it for you. Like what's the worst thing that can happen, right? Like, especially if we operate on a field performance basis, like lose out on some time, like maybe a month, but it's better than not trying, right? So, I will say, like, this isn't rocket science. Throw an ad up on the internet, have a virtual assistant overseas call them, and then just send you the ones that are worth your time. Have a crazy good backend system in place. And this can honestly be set up in less than like 2 weeks. Like, if you know what you're doing. It could take a lot longer, 3, 4, 5, 6 months if you don't know what you're doing, if you have a lot more on your plate. But like it's seriously that simple. And that's just what you're so passionate about. Like, how to implement your own systems. And so people are super passionate about this and we make these videos. So let me know if you need anything. That's going to be the end of this video. Again, link down in the description if you're a real estate agent in the US doing over 12 transactions a year that honestly would just like to implement it for you. If you don't really know what I'm talking about or you want to see what this will look like on our firsthand, there's also some other free videos. Or again, you can book a quick free call down below. 15-minute phone call with Platoon. We'll see if you're actually a good fit and then get you in for a second call so it could make sense for both sides. Now I'm waiting for to just like a call to see if we can actually help you. Because we do everything on a performance basis, has to make sense from both sides. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the videos. Would consume enough content, or I'll see you guys in the next one.